To the second map. Got done a lot quicker than I actually thought it would be. So just going to be quickly jumping in here. Bear with me for 1 second. Normally it takes like a little while between the maps, but I think both teams agreed to just get this underway as soon as possible. And if you did just join us, the first map was pretty ridiculously one-sided. It was 16-1 to the Ninjas on Overpass. So Nuke we go. Interesting map this, because the old school NiP players were unbelievably good on this map. They're a team that would absolutely wreck it, so I'm curious to see how they'll transition into the new Nuke. Haven't really seen them play it so far, though, I'm going to be honest, so I'm not sure what to expect from them. Flip side, though, I don't think there's any doubting that these guys are not quite the same caliber of team as NiP, so NiP would still be firm favourites in my mind to take this map too. And here we go. NiP on the T side, going to be occupying outside for now, with Exist taking point. We'll let it is put down to 87. It should be a-okay. Meanwhile, NiP going to be smoking out and pushing down Secret. And pretty quickly at that, Exist the player to really watch out for in that first map. I'll be curious to see if he can follow on his form. He got nearly 30 kills in that first map, which is pretty ridiculous considering it ended at 16-1. Blade, in the meanwhile, is going to get tapped from range. The P2000 will prevail in the hands of Forest. And now the Ninjas looking to make a move through the vents. Will that it has spotted himself. A cheeky Exist, but Freiburg's going to be coming in. Meanwhile, from the top site, he gets completely put in his place, though. The bomb will drop out too. Waylander is trying to tee off with the P2000, and somehow, someway, FlipSid are making this round relatively close. It looked like it would be completely out of their hands. Forrest will tie it up, though, with his third kill, and the Ninjas will continue their winning ways at a 1-0 lead. FlipSid will be buying into this, of course. Having the Deagle and Will at its hands is nothing too surprising. Refresh the stream, guys. It'll fix your sound. So 3 Deagles, 2 5.7s, and Blaze Deagle is going to rip through the face of Freiburg. So decent opening pick, but now Forrest and Makalele are going to answer back with some serious firepower. AK frags aplenty as Forrest will eradicate Markelov with the AK headshot. Get right with the Mac-10, going in first through onto the Heaven side. He will meet an Electronic, and a pretty convincing easy frag at that. Waylander again in a similar position to where he was yesterday. In the last round, I should say. Yesterday? What? I mean, he was using a lot of angles like this yesterday too. I think that's also fair, but he's going to get the 1 kill and then fall down afterwards. He's the kind of player that does like to hide in corners and be quite a static sort of CT defender. Match pause, going to be technical, almost guaranteed. And NiP, again, there's not too much to really say about this performance. They have just been dominant throughout Overpass and the start of this one. Again, I'm quite curious to see if we're going to see any sort of set plays. Saw Virtus Pro bust these out at ESL New York. Some really awesome set plays, honestly, through the windows at the top of the A site. So I'm curious if NiP have been working on this map or not. Pretty difficult to tell so far. And we are back into the action. Do you have a favourite pro team? Not really. There's certain players that I enjoy watching. Like, I enjoy watching Snacks, for example, is certainly a player that springs to mind. Simple, of course, is just like this nuts, insanely talented player. So it's mainly players that I like watching, not necessarily teams. Blade from the same position is going to get another 1-tap. Last time it was on Freiburg, partially through the wall. This time it's going to be Exist that gets his face melted. That nades nearly doing a whole bunch of damage. Blade has managed to survive with a Deagle on just 13 health. Lucky for him, at least. Maglele, though, tees off onto Markelov, and this round is back open once more, and very likely going the way of NiP. Get right. He's going to get that frag, and FlipSid seem caught in all sorts of trouble right now. They only bring it back to a 3-on-3, but the remaining weapons are assault rifles, and the B site has been taken control of, so this is asking a lot for FlipSid to get anything from here. Will going to be peeking through the vets, and meanwhile Decon will yield another kill for Blade. Remember, he's on 13 health, so that's pretty impressive that he got another kill out of that one. Oh dear, Michael, he runs out of bullets, spins around, and the USB frag goes down, so Michael clearly needs to head back to phase. Full assault rifles. The 360 USP no scope. Get wrecked. Now, these are the sort of rounds where I'm interested to see what NiP are going to be bringing to the table. The other ones have been, obviously, the pistol, and then eco bashes, ultimately. This is a rifle round. I want to see, are we going to spot anything I haven't really seen before? So far, not really. Well, that it is going to put down Forrest, 85 damage in the process, so he's far from in a great position right now. Blade point blank range, he's going to get the better of Exist, and Markelov, meanwhile, with his M4. So 3 very separate locations, all yielding kills for the CTs. Putting Mike Lilly and Get Right on the back foot for now. Going to be trying to smoke their way out. They've still got a lot of time to play with, in fairness. It's about a minute to go in total. Markelov hearing the footsteps just above him. Alert him to the presence there. Mike Lilly, though, has the bomb and is coming down secret towards the B site. Get Right could very well get found out. Markelov is still just peering around the corner. He's going to get the best of Get Right now. Unfortunate timing. Now Michael 30 seconds and a 1-on-5. Why the hell not? Thing is, though, time itself is against him too, so maybe if he can take a few of these CT players down with him. The economy still not quite stabilized for FlipSid, so this would be every kill hurting them that little bit more. Blades tight left, but Electronics on the comm stairs, and that is going to be the first round for FlipSid. So welcome to the scoreboard, boys. Again, though, I'm going to have to rebuy on one player and drop across to Markelov. It's going to be Blade that is given that task. All things considered, not too shabby. FlipSid managed to get their first round and don't lose too many weapons. Their economy's not in a terrible place. They have enough funds to buy into the next round, and at least a couple of players if they so choose. Swallowed it with 3.2k, for example. Copter fire goes down, and Blade's going to jump on top of that one. He's typically been the player that's gone onto the teammate side, so him coming through on the hut side may have caught out NiP a little bit there. Freiberg with a kill afterwards, and will scamper away, so equalising the odds. Get Right just has a Mac 10 at this point, so he's going to get, by and large, very little out of this round, you'd have to assume. Let's have a look where he's gone. He's already all the way down into secret. Scampered his way through here. Punch out the windows and then come up the back of ramp, and he's going to get the best of Electronic. Can he get the spray? Yes, he can. And he can probably trade out for that assault rifle on top of it, so he's going to have an M4. How the hell did Get Right get all the way through onto secret without anybody spotting him? And now NiP are barreling their way through ramp. FlipSid's defense has had gaping holes in it. NiP are making the most of it. Here comes Waylander with a decon push. The M4 is good for the headshot. Freiberg's going to push this. Read that situation perfectly. Realized, why would he close the door unless he was reloading? So pushed the issue. Got the kill. Exist and Forest come through. And all too easy for the Swedes. Now the problem is that they'd been able to buy up on a couple more players had they won that round and lost weapons. Now that they've lost the round and got very few kills out of it, well, they're into a position where actually they probably will not buy a great deal. Will that it's going to go for the Deagle, means he can get the weapons the next round, but the problem here is players like Blade, who are down to 1700, is because he actually dropped Markelov and M4 in the previous round, which is why he's so low on funds, even though he's got 5 kills. This could be another pretty fast map of CS. FlipSid really not showing up too much today. NiP have looked in great form. Outside control is being taken. Once again, Secret is NiP's. Exists with the first kill. Get Right's waiting outside in case any of these CTs start to rotate their way through. Tapping across. Sees Markelov in the garage. Oh, Blade gets chopped in half by the door. There's Michael will put him down with ease. It looked all kinds of awkward. Electronic eats grenade to the face. P250 in hand, going to try and do anything he can to salvage this round. Markelov with the only kill. If he can save this AK-47, it wouldn't be too bad. But he's got 10 health and a lot of time to try and save this with pretty tasty shot onto Forest, all things considered. Now, Michael has to come up through the staircase. Actually, one of the worst positions to be in if you're a terrorist trying to aggress on a CT without Kevlar, because your head's going to peek through first. The chances of getting that insta-headshot much higher than if someone runs out and you're both level. So nearly didn't quite pay off for the ninjas, but they get the frag and will take us into round 7. And that sees FlipSid with an XM in the hands of Blade. So let's see where he's going to play with this weapon. Would make sense on the A site, up close and personal. Michael, easy frag for him. Didn't even take a single point of damage. Electronics will be very disappointed with that trade. And once again, Ramp has been locked down. World Edit, though, may have something to say about this, but Exist, who's been in fine form, will thread the needle, landing the headshot. Well, he's a little bit out of place. Get Right nearly actually falls to his death there on 12 health, nearly owned by Gravity itself. Now Freiburg is going to make his move through Vent. On top of the corpse of World Edit, Blade just underneath him, of course, unbeknownst to Freiburg, so he's going to continue to peek around where he can. You hear that XM rattling off, but it's Freiburg that's going to be making a move head-to-head with Blade, and Blade actually got the right click on him. You heard the gratifying sound of Blade on flesh, and now the burns are coming out. Freiburg is going to waste away Waylander. 45 seconds left. Forest is in a one-on-one duel to the death with Markelov. We'll get the plants. Markelov at this point. I mean, he may even try and check A site, because it's not guaranteed that he realizes this is definitely the B site right now. So he could waste some valuable time. See him peering across, but he has realized it is the B play. Just on the rotation down, though, he's used so much time here. He doesn't have a kit either. So he's going to go for the smoke. Trying to draw out the terrorists, and he's got given the information on the doors. Forrest, in the meanwhile, flashing his way in, and Markelov's given up the chase. He's going to pick up the AWP for World Edit, and NiP will pick up a 6th round. So a pretty similar start to how Overpass went as well. I think at one stage that was 6-1. Although under different circumstances. And FlipSid will have the AWP, but not much else. Markelov is capable of AWPing too, so with the Kevlar, he may very well just keep this. And indeed he will. Let's see where he's going to use it. He's going to be peering into the hut right now. Get Right is already looking down into ramp. Must have heard the noise outside, so Markelov's going to turn his attention to, I believe that's Exist, who's trying to hop his way into Secret. This has been a pretty consistent factor of the NiP machine. I'm just sticking with Markelov, because for me, he's the only player that's really going to get anything done out of this round for FlipSid. The rest of them have just been all eco frags. Now, this is the point where we see if Markelov can do much, or if he's literally going to sit in here for 1 minute and 15 plus the bomb timer and try and save. Exist seems to have sussed this out. He's checking every corner and will land the headshot. No AWP will be present from Markelov into this round. If they want one, they're going to have to buy it again. And World Edit will do just that. Markelov could afford an AWP if he wants it, but instead goes for the M4. I mean, right now, I wouldn't even put it past NiP getting another 16-1 win. FlipSid have looked appalling. Oh, well, that it. I thought his chance had gone. He actually zoomed out just as Get Right peeked him, but a pretty tasty shot nonetheless. The issue for FlipSid is they have conceded a frag just afterwards. That's Markelov dying. Once again, no huge surprises that NiP have taken control of Secret and will try and force their way down there. Blade, though, this time is going to be there to try and stave off the push. Blade's going to get the one frag. Comes up. Meanwhile, Waylander from the side, and it's going to be a complete lockout. FlipSid finally getting some success. Keeping 3 players alive in the second round. While the 61 Dream is not real for NiP this time around. This caster, Hiron. Give me details, bro. We'll get you a new solo cast this game. Show me how it's done, bro. I'm just waiting for FlipSid to show me something to get hype about, honestly. Because they've looked so poor over the last week or two that I've been casting them. I cast them quite a lot, actually, over this last couple of weeks. They just look so incredibly poor. Forrest nearly actually landing a shot there. Waylander was pretty close. Actually comes back and lands the dink. Down to 8. We'll let it, meanwhile, with the AWP, is going to wreck Get Right, and the bomb's been dropped out in ramp. So now that's going to make the job of NiP that much harder, especially considering that they trail by 2 players and Forrest is low. Make that just Forrest and Exist now. 8 health. It's good for 1 kill. Blade's going to go down, and meanwhile Exist is going to try and retake the form that saw him just wreck Overpass. Hasn't quite been so prevalent on this map so far. But I suppose when you're getting complete control of the map, it's unlikely one player is going to shine. It's going to be more of a spread out sort of deal. NiP, for me, look like they're just going to be disappearing out of this round, but they're still somehow in this. 30 seconds left, though. Bomb has been picked up courtesy of Exist. Tasty, man. Will let it land some crazy shots. And there's the second one. 3k in the round for him. FlipSid with a third round. Keeping themselves just about above water. NiP can force out a buy. It probably includes Get Right onto a Tech 9 or a Galil. Or, of course, the Mac 10. I mean, why the hell not? He's a player that does like to go for the Mac 10. I'm personally not a huge fan of it when you know the enemy has Kevlar with head armor. But Electronic actually doesn't have head armor here. So maybe he could be the man that goes down to the Mac 10. A little surprised by the Mac 10 purchase, but who knows? If it works for him, he will seem a genius. Exist going to be charging through the smoke once again. It's been Blade that's been meeting them here. A couple of players actually getting their toes burnt in the process, so quite a bit of damage actually from that incendiary. But whereas it was Blade last time, he's no longer here. Instead, he's on the A side trying to hold it down. So in the meanwhile, the ninjas are creeping their way through Secret. Complete control over this area. But the thing is, though, what worries me for FlipSid is they have no players on B side right now. It's going to be Blade that's going to try and retake this by himself. And he's got picked off. And just like that's going to be a free plant. FlipSid with nobody on the lower side of the map. It's all too easy for the ninjas. It confuses me. They totally give up lower control. When ninjas have consistently pushed through Secret, have consistently used this. And as soon as the smokes go outside, surely at that point you realise what's about to come at you. Forrest from behind will take down Waylander. And the fairy tale may very well end here for FlipSid. Got a couple of rounds in a row. Well, that's going to be saving at spawn. Markelov desperately trying to save outside. Can hear the footsteps. It's going to be Forrest who likely will die. The one tap secures that one. But NiP will take an 8th round. There's the scoreboard for you guys. Forest top fragging 12 and 5. Makalele's just behind him on 10. Everyone else pulling their weight. We've got a couple of decent fraggers as well on the side of FlipSid. If you remember, I believe it was around round 11 on Overpass where I said that after 11 rounds they've only picked up 9 kills collectively on the side of FlipSid. So they're doing a much better job here. They've got a lot more frags in it than that this time. Combined for Waylander and Blade, they've got 16 kills there. So they've been getting a fair amount of kills here on the CT side of Nuke, but the problem is that they're still hemorrhaging frags themselves. They're taking a lot of casualties. They are able to get through onto the sites. You know, we've already talked about lower control being completely absent for FlipSid, other than that one round where Blade went through and got 2 frags. And surprise, surprise, where is Makalele pushing? It's in secret. And let's have a look. World Edit is the only player that has this covered. Rip Blade caught with a nade out. That's going to cost him his life and potentially his team at the upper site. They do have themselves Waylander, who's up on the catwalk, but down he goes, and that's the last line of defense that will go with him. World Edit, surely you're not going to land a shot through there. That would be pretty disgusting. So once again, not for the first time, FlipSid looking to save. Go on, we'll let it. Pull something crazy off.
Terrorists win.
Super exciting gameplay. The ninjas are going from strength to strength. FlipSid, I mean, it's like they're stuck in first gear still. So this time, it should be World Edit that has the lone AWP. Last time it was Markelov. They weren't able to get anything out of that round. I'm going to stick with World Edit here again. Similar to the last time, look at the rest of the weapons on FlipSid. No one has anything really. You got Zeus in the hands of Waylander, which could be pretty interesting, but by and large, this is going to have to be World Edit that's going to come in with some big frags if they want to do it. So I'm going to stick on board from his perspective, see how he moves around the map, see what he can get done here. Again, they're going to be going down into lower. I want to see how World Edit reacts to this. I'm always curious on especially AWPers, how they react to how certain plays are going down. He has just spotted Forest. Call must have came through that Secret's been taken again. But at this point, honestly, for World Edit, like, what can he even get done? He's a solid player, very talented player, but you got an AWP against full AK-47s. You know that Secret's been taken. You know that lower sight's horrible to retake from an AWP's perspective. He's just desperately looking for some kind of a pick. And NiP as well, you get to see sort of how good they are at these anti-eco rounds. They're giving nothing away. Down he goes, and that's going to be the round to the ninjas once again. Maybe Electronic can get right with him. Highly unlikely, especially as exists to see with the spray. 10-3 the score. 14 for 5 for Forest. And Freiburg is this now catching up with Makalele with 11 and 10 respectively. FlipSid without Oscar. You what, mate? Oscar played for Hellraisers. Anywho, here we go. FlipSid back into a rifle round, and Will that it's the first player to fall. That's going to definitely sting, but get right. Seemingly caught in two minds as to a potential ramp push. Will cost him his life as Waylander bests him. And in the time being, NiP have once again taken the player advantage. Blade Desperately hiding behind the vents. Electronic's going to try and take some kind of secret control onto Exist. Does get the spray down going in his favor, but loses a chunk of his health in the process. And now Wayland has been in this position before, but he seems to be very solid at it. Another kill for him. Electronic, his partner in crime, is trying to get something done. Wayland, meanwhile, dropping down into Mini. Nice play. Leaving Michael there for the headshot. One bullet onto Electronic and he will be a dead man. Just 12 health remaining. The AK will cut him to shreds. And there we go. Michael playing it to perfection. NiP going into the last round. We'll have a FlipSid team with a really poor buy. They may be able to force out a FAMAS here or there. We may even see, we'll let it go for a scout. I mean, we've seen him go for it in recent times in this kind of money. But instead, he's going to go for an assault rifle. So FAMAS, UMP, XM, we've already seen Blade pick this up before. Deagle, M4. So, get right with the noob cannon. The matchmaking nightmare. He's there for a frag. Freiburg as well, taking down World Edit as he tries to get some secret control. And NiP continuing to show how powerful they can be on Nuke. I mean, we know how old school Nuke went for NiP. They were unbelievably strong on this map, but the new Nuke, not so sure. I think we're getting a rough idea now. In fairness, FlipSid aren't the kind of team that are going to push them to their limits on the best of maps, but they've been looking pretty solid here today. Electronic will trade out one kill, but it's NiP who retain the player advantage. And now Blades, in a 1-on-2 situation, has it all to do. Spots Freiburg, lands the headshot, keeping this alive. The problem is he has no idea where Exist is. For all he knows, Exist is already on the B site. That doesn't give any information away, seeing Freiburg. Because NiP have been pretty split and conquered in their approach here on Nuke. And there's Exist from May. You can see Blade was already peering up towards Heaven, had no idea what was up against him. 12-3. NiP now going through onto their CT side. And it's pretty much pistol or bust for FlipSid. NiP, if they win this, they'll be top of the league. I believe 6 points ahead of the nearest team, which would be impressive standings for them. Lucius, thanks man. I try to interact as much as I can, especially when I'm solo casting. Especially in the slower games like this, where it's not necessarily sort of like balls to the wall, crazy plays. It's one team choking out the other one. These matches happen. It is a bit of a gap in skill between the two teams, so I think it's safe to say. But this could be a very fast couple of best of ones, actually. I think this would be the fastest best of ones I've casted in the ESL Pro League B stream. A 16-1 and potentially a 16-3 coming up here. Caster, who are you? Your metas. What's up? Yeah, I think Pitt's still away for a while. Michael will be stepping in. Not sure for how long exactly. Caster, are you Pitt? Yes, I am. You got me, bro. Have you heard of the Caster Flake? Yes. Actually, when I did the major qualifiers in Katowice in Poland, Flake was there as well, so I think we were on the same flight back to England. Or at least back to our connecting flight, like Amsterdam or something. What am I watching? You're watching NiP have their way with FlipSid. I feel like what I'm watching should be like illegal, you know? I feel like I'm a dirty pervert watching what's going on right now. It's been a little bit brutal to watch, I'm not gonna lie. I might Anders Bloom. Yep, he got me again. I'm both Pit and Anders Bloom at the same time. Are you going to cast Northern Arena Montreal? Nope. Haven't been asked. I don't know if I'd be able to make it even if I was asked, though, to be honest. The casting from home? Yep. Cheers, Nadave P? Sorry, dude. Probably wrecked your name. Do I need a duo caster? Yes, I do. Like, not necessarily for these games, I just mean overall. Duos are definitely important, I would say, for getting to the top levels of CS casting. There's a reason why the three duos, you know, will do every huge event, because they are the best. And having a duo caster that really complements your style, that you get on well with and you have good chemistry with is massive. Like, there's no doubting that at all in my mind. Do you have a YouTube channel? Yes, Metis TV. Just hit me up on Twitter. Like, this is pure sellout mode, but a lot of you have been asking what my Twitter is anyway. @OnFireMetis. My links are there. Anyway, enough about me. Enough about casting. Let's get into this second half of Counter-Strike, which could be very fast. It could be bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. If NiP have their way in this pistol. Pretty slow round so far. Nothing to really write home about. Markov has a bit of utility, smoke and flash, P250 as well. And it appears they're going to be using the outside catwalk, of course, one of the additions into the new Nuke. That connects with the catwalk outside. You can wrap yourself all the way around from silo to heaven. It's definitely something that gives the T's a lot more opportunities and options, but Get Right is going to move his way into position, I should say, to try and fend that off. Played with the first kill, and that is the A site being locked down. Forrest and Get Right, though, may have something to say about that one, but Forrest has been silenced, his mouth shut, closed, with a Glock headshot. Markelov P250 finally comes into the fray, but he's down to 4 health. Somehow, someway, survives that confrontation. We'll let it with a headshot on to Get Right, and that's all on Freiburg. He does have the kit. The 3 players to find and kill. Blades the first. Lands it. Not clean, but a kill nonetheless. And now Markelov on heaven. He's not going to be required. World Edit will keep FlipSid in this map a little while longer. Picking up the second pistol. Forrest instantly goes for the scout buy. He has a solid spawn. I want to see where he's going to run with this here. And the rest of the team coming up with pistols. Cast CSGO and Overwatch, although Overwatch to a less extent right now. CSGO is my priority, my love. Electronic with the Mac 10 outside on silo. The longest of Mac 10 headshots would be required for him to take someone out there. Now, this Forest is maybe coming up against them, so this could be a pretty interesting fight, although it seems it's going to be a fake for FlipSid for the time being. They're throwing a lot of smokes outside, but seemingly no one's going to push in behind it, so they're not the kind of ruthless aggression we saw from NiP on their T side where they'd rush down into secret. This is a lot more controlled. That is, however, going to give Freiburg the chance to get the 5-7 kill on towards Blade. Have you ever played a game called CSGO? No. Definitely not. So an interesting tactic. Smoking outside, trying to push in mid, and then coming outside again. It is going to catch NiP off guard to an extent, but Forrest is here with his scout, and he's the kind of player that can land the tasty one-taps with the scout. Meanwhile, Freiburg's wrapped himself through secrets. Honestly, the calls by NiP were spot on. It's just the fact that they're so far behind in terms of weaponry that they couldn't make it work. That being said, keep an eye on the health counters of the FlipSid players. The last 2 remaining now is Markelov and Electronic, and with 15 seconds to go, they've got to push into the site, and that's going to give Exist a free frag, leaving Electronic's Galil all that remains. 10 seconds now. He's not going to have enough time to get on the site, so all that NiP have to do is just wait. And they're going to have this round. FlipSid. What just happened?
Counter-terrorists win.
A lack of direction? 15 seconds left and a 3-on-2 is not enough time left, especially pushing through smokes. So after FlipSid take the second pistol and you're thinking, okay, this is your ticket back into this game, they lose the very next one. Double XM comp, because why the hell not? Freiburg and Forest will be following in Blade's footsteps in the first half. Mac 10 UMP Scout. Not the kind of buy you see too often, but Electronic is going to silence Get Right instantly. Michael comes back with his Mac 10. Oh my goodness. Secret double XMs. That is brutal. Waylander spots the head of Forest, but unable to connect the shots there. And so he will be backing on off. Exists in the meanwhile. Nades through blue. It's not going to hit anybody in lobby. No one's actually home for the terrorists there, so they're going to be good to go down secret. But again, this is where you just think of those XMs. The brutality of what's about to come up the FlipSid if they do push up there. Marklov. Handy shot. Makaleli will feel the burn. Freiburg could be the next to fall. The XM does rattle out, but it's going to cost him his life. Again, no FlipSid in the 3-on-2. Have two players that are pretty low. This allows Exist to go to town with the UMP. The bomb's been dropped, and now Markelov up on catwalk, dropping down with 30 seconds left. Has to try and retrieve the bomb and kill two CTs are full on health. You see that he's very cautious about the hole in the door that someone could be peering through from Squeaky. I like the idea, but the problem is that he's going to have to scamper to the site, hold down the plant, which he will get. I say he will get. Forrest is giving him no respect at all. Just charges him with the XM. I thought they may wait a little bit in case it was a fake, but instead they go for blood. They could smell it. 14-4, the scoreline. And that lackluster buy is now turned into a healthy one. 3 M4s, UMP, XM. That FlipSid have pretty much nothing to play with. So 2 Deagles, one in the hands of World Edit is always a potential of an upset. The Forest and the Cross. Markelov running out before the smokes actually start to flourish, and that's going to cost him his life. World Edit with the Deagle is going to put down one of the ninjas, but it looks like that's going to be the only ninja to fall, unless World Edit can pull off the craziest of plays. There's the first kill. Pretty tasty stuff on to Exist to went for the knife again. He's been a pretty cheeky guy today. We've already seen him knife one person. I think it was World Edit, wasn't it? In Bank and Overpass when he had the AWPs. It was the same guy. Leaping through the air with the knife. The bayonet charge will be unsuccessful. FlipSid, though, again, we'll have to find a whole bunch of rounds consecutively. 11 in total to get us to overtime. A whole lot of fire to stop any potential ramp push. I think Blade may have also thrown out his own molly there, just to make sure that no one pushed through. Like clearly he is going to anyway, right behind it. Loses 27 health. Too easy for NiP. Favorite Kappa has got to be Kappa Ross. Loved that stream, dude. Loved that stream. Marklov in the meanwhile is going to get a trade off, but again, NiP keep their player advantage. It's just got a whole lot better. Only 2 players remain now for FlipSid. 1 minute left in the time. Lely's pushing back through ramp again. This time it's going to cost him his life, but again he does dish out a lot of damage in the process. And a call will come through that it's a B hit, at least for the time being. And they are going to follow through with this one. The molly in the vent. That's a pretty solid Molotov, honestly. It's going to force Exist's hands to rotate himself through. Spraying through the smoke does do a little bit of damage. It gets finished off. So maybe FlipSid are going to pick up a 5th round and make this game back on again. That flash, absolutely perfect. But still Waylander lands the shot. Forest gets Shrek'd. He's on 20 for 10. Exist is not letting up on the kills. 18 for 12. And FlipSid just refusing to lose. Forced in for NiP. Double AWPs. Double 5-7s. Yeah, how can you not love the Bob Ross stream? It was so good. How chill was that? Michael this time with the XM holding the close angle onto ramp. His footsteps definitely will peek around the side and take someone's head clean off. FlipSid with a pretty slow round this time around, and this could play against them with a double up set up in the hands of NiP. 19-15 confirmed. Man. There's Forest with the first one. 4 more to go if NiP want to finish this off in style. Collectively, FlipSid have only picked up 6 rounds in 2 maps. Will they add to that tally? Freiburg being a slippery Swede going down the vents. 5-7's up and lands the frag onto Waylander. It's going to actually push in and get the weapon off him as well. The AK-47 trades hands. 35 seconds left. And FlipSid have got no real estate. The only player that's moving in position is Electronic, but he's going to have to pull off a bit of a miracle here. Forest, as soon as he slows down, he will receive the headshot. Second kill for Electronic, so I highlighted him as the player that would have to tee off, and he's done just that. 20 seconds left. Electronic may have single-handedly just salvaged this round, and meanwhile Freiburg burns to a crisp. And Michael has the XM. And Markelov gets him on the drive-by. FlipSid continuing to stick in Nuke. And now this is going to be a save for NiP. Pretty even spread of kills has to be mentioned on the side of FlipSid here. No one's really pulling away from the pack. No one's performing terribly either. 5-7 and a Zeus. Forest has his taser out and waiting for the terrorists. The frags are coming in though. Blades charging straight through. Should be good for quite a few frags here. Blade's not going to be riding on the lightning just yet. Don, who's to say I'm not right now, bro? You'd never know. So another buy. It's not going to include an AWP, but it will include full M4s, and this has probably been the best buy collectively that we've seen from NiP on their CT side. They've been going for kind of bargain bucket buys of a couple of AWPs with a couple of 5-7s, a couple of XMs. This is the first time we've seen like a really healthy, hearty buy. So is this where they put the final nail in the coffin and bury FlipSid? Pretty hard to see how FlipSid can navigate the way out of this one. Freiburg with 2 kills, actually pushing through into Squeaky. Of course, the camera doesn't catch it. Why would it? Freiburg then gets wrecked, going back in again. This should be good for this kill, leaving Electronic with a 1-on-4 up against him. The bomb also dropped out. This is a huge task to undertake. Playing slowly for now, hoping the CTs start coming through and maybe gift wrap themselves a couple of kills away, and it brings us back into a more doable 1-on-2. Forest is not falling for that molly though. Staying at close range, connects the headshot, NiP take it very convincingly in the end and leapfrog their way to the top of the scoreboards, the top of the leaderboards for ESL Pro League. Next up, we're going to have Na'Vi versus Dignitas. Should be a really good match, actually. A battle for the mid-table. Top 6 will progress through to the LAN. And both these teams are around the 6th place. I think Na'Vi are currently 8th and Dig are around 5th or 6th. So it's going to be a battle to the end. You're not going to want to miss that one, guys. I'm going to quickly get myself a drink, get myself some food, and then I'll be back to cast that game once it starts. I don't think it's scheduled to go live for a little while because those 2 maps are over so fast. So it could be a little bit of a break here, ladies and gents, but as soon as the action is live, I'll be bringing it back to you. So I'll catch you guys in a few.